I have here, I want you to look real closely at this. This is a reply from Dan Drazen. You know, Daniel J. Drazen, the guy that does the reviews, right there. And you've probably seen here on my YouTube channel, I did a video message for him, and he responded, and I just recently replied to him again to kind of clear out some questions he may have not understood. But this is what Dan replied to me. This is his reply to me, and I quote, "Brian, thanks for the video. Honestly, I was surprised that I've been writing copy for your YouTube videos. You do me a great service. Many thanks." Continuing on, and I quote, Dan Drazen, "I know I've been way slow in reviewing this past year. At the moment, I'm putting the final tweaks to the 2011 best/worst list. I'm hoping I can gain some ground by year's end, if not sooner." In other words, what he's telling me, and I'm sure any fan of his reviews would, kind of figure out, here, he wants to basically make up for losing momentum over the past year. And we all understand that, and we all respect that. Okay, continuing on and quoting Dan's reply to me. "I watched and tried listening to your video message to me. Emphasis on tried. My hearing is such that I couldn't quite catch everything you asked, or everything you said, but I'll respond to what I thought." And he puts in caps, and I want you to look at that. Puts in caps. "What I thought I heard. If I'm wide of the mark, you know the reason why." All right. So, okay, here's what I asked him several things, and again, if you want to look at the message video, it's here on my channel. Check it out, and you could probably read along with it if you want to. One, does Ian have a plan? This is basically one of them. This is all on what he thought he heard. So let's cut him a break there. The guy, cut him a break. Cut him a break. I appreciate, and I'm sure anybody else appreciates, communicating with him and him responding. But this is what he answered when I asked him what his thoughts on Ian's long-term plans, if you will, and what he's looking forward to. And this is what he replied when I asked, basically, as he put it, does Ian have a plan? And he quoted, and his answer is this, and I quote, "Of course he does. And it's been green-lighted by editorial. And if he's learned anything about the business, he'll keep it to himself. That's how comics work. I don't know where he's going or how he's getting there, but we'll have to wait and see." So what he's saying there is even he doesn't know what Ian's got planned. Doing reviews as long as this guy has, and, if there was a Hall of Fame for comic book reviewers, he'd be in it. The thing is, he doesn't even know what Ian's doing, and he basically, gives a positive, if you will, and basically comments on the fact, positively, that this is something that Ian Flynn, who was once a fan himself, has learned. That if you're going to work on a comic book, you cannot give away anything. You can't even let out the subtle hint of what you've got planned. Now, number two, this is why I asked him about the whole Sally situation, and this is what he answered back, and I quote Dan's answer to me. He said, "By the amount of Sonic/Sally mail and fan art, editorial has," and again, that's in caps, I want you to look at that, if I can get it clear for you. It's right, it's right here, it's right there, you can probably see it. Editorial has to know where the fans' sentiment lies. In other words, he's acknowledging that editorial has to realize who the fans, despite the differences and how people individually feel, or in groups, how they feel about the whole situation. He says, editorial has to know where the fan sentiment lies. And Ian has played to it, especially at the end of the Sonic Genesis arc, Well, Sonic and Sally clearly have a connection. Of course, in the next installment, she gets roboticized. That's standard procedure. That's standard procedure. Comic books are not above jerking the fans around to keep interest up. She will, and this is how he looks at it, she will be restored, I think. He says, I think that. She will be restored, I think, but not until Sonic 250. And even he says he feels it could be around 250. You know what I mean? And I really doubt that a Sonic-Amy relationship is in the cards. The age difference aside, yeah, you try telling people that, certain fans that, no offense, but you try telling certain fans about that. The age difference aside, Sega itself has made no move in that direction. They want Amy to stay locked in a comic relief, lovesick puppy role. That's the way they keep treating her, which I guess you could say is kind of true. And if you don't believe me, he says it. Where is it? Here it is, right there at the bottom. Now, the next question I talked to him about was Bunny. Now, again, you can go back and watch the message video I sent to him. This is basically his answer. He says, I think you asked about Bunny, which I did. I told him basically I feel her going to probably get Legionized is going to be a good thing, not a bad thing. But this is what he said, and I quote, his reply to me on Bunny. I've only gotten as far as the issue where Antoine is hospitalized. And then he puts in a quotation, or whatever it is, apostrophe, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know, those little half circles or smiley faces. But he puts in between that, I'm going to have to read that more closely because I don't remember them saying whether he's probably terminal or possibly terminal. Whether he's possibly terminal. Her reaction is to go rogue. Boy, I don't know where Ian is going with this. First she gets her old bod back, and now she's playing the superhero kid. I said above that Ian has to have a plan, but where Bunny fits in, I don't know. Well, what he's saying there is that he's only gotten as far as the point that Antoine is hospitalized, and Bunny's going to do what many feel is going to happen. But it's like I've said, and I'm sure many people will agree with this, it's going to be a positive situation. All right. And then I asked him about something that I've mentioned many times before, and a lot of people are like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. That would be the stupidest way to go. It'd be a waste of time. No way. And you know what? Dan agrees. And he quotes. Because he puts time travel story, but I also asked about something else. But it was mostly time travel. He says, a time travel story? Seriously? Gag me. That's as bad as the old, it was all just a bad dream ending. It would be a waste of trees if Ian really went that way. That might be true. But you know what? One can never tell. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to go that way either, but one never knows. I mean, you want people to think you're going to go one way and then you go the other. So who knows? But even he finds that ridiculous. And then finally, he mentions the Sonic Generations. He says, you asked about Sonic Generations. I haven't followed the cutscenes from that one, so I'm not really in a position to comment upon it. And then he says in closing, anyway, that's what I think, and he puts in capitalized right there at the end, that's what I think you asked me. I hope I was mostly right and that I answered mostly on point. Thank you again for considering the ramblings of an old man to be worth something to the fandom. Dan Drazen. So basically, I want to thank him, of course, and I'm sure anybody else would like to thank him for doing this. And again, before I go, I'll give you a little bit better look at it so you can read it. Okay. So anyway, that was his reply to me. Again, hopefully you guys just read that at the end, so you don't have to, you know, wonder, okay, what the hell did he just say throughout all that? But give me your thoughts down below. Do you agree with what some of Dan said? I mean, I'm sure I agree. I mean, out of respect, I agree with some of this. I mean, you know, he's been doing these reviews for a long time, so apparently he's got to have some kind of knowledge. I mean, he does have to have some kind of knowledge and know-how of exactly what they've got planned. Not saying that he does, and I'm not saying we don't, and vice versa. I'm not saying any of us, not even Dan knows exactly what they're going to do, because he admits it here. The thing is, you know, do you agree with anything he answered to you in my reply? Let me know down below, and I'll talk to you all later. You all have a good day.